Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ramblings from the Little Shed. Tonight's guest, we have Ingrid Phaneuf, and I do believe Ingrid is bilingual, as am I, and so I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Ingrid is a registered psychotherapist in Ontario, and we are so happy to have her here this evening as we get to uncover how she feels that animals influence her creativity. And as always, Rogan is here with me. Ingrid.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hi, Rogan.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you.
Well, we are in the midst of a wicked snowstorm here. And it's like an old classic winter storm where everything shuts down. That's in our neck of the woods, but I'm not sure about you, Ingrid. How's the weather?
Oh, it's a bit rainy, freezing rain here. I'm
Oh.
actually over the border in Quebec, just over the border from Ontario. So
Right.
where are you located?
In Northern Ontario.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
getting
in Southern
slammed.
Ontario, and we had quite a lot of rain yesterday. I traveled from home to south yesterday, and it was just like blizzard to rainstorm, and that was tough.
Yeah.
So, Ingrid, would you mind telling us a little bit about who you are, who your pets may be, or the ones that are in your story?
Well, my pet isn't in my story, but his name is Cole. He's a Scottish Terrier,
Okay.
and I've always had animal companions and cats, dogs, and he's my latest guy.
Nice.
Um, I am my late 50s. I'm a psychotherapist. I used to be a journalist. I
Wow.
did a creative writing degree way back when, so I'm a writer too. And
Mhm.
kind of my voice came back a couple of years ago after killing it with journalism for a while. So
Mm.
I'm starting to write creatively again, which is really fun.
And that's how we know each other.
Yeah,
We met last June at our residency program in Halifax for our MFA in fiction.
that's correct.
And we are soon to be together again, but online this time. We have a new residency coming up. So that should be interesting online. I'm not sure how that's going to roll out, but I'm sure they have it figured out. It's not their first rodeo. So
No, I noticed they have good long breaks, and I personally hate sitting on my butt for hours at a time. So I'm looking forward to those breaks between classes.
agreed.
Yeah.
They're never long enough, though.
No.
The
Oh,
nice part, though, is that from what I can see is we only start around 11 or 12, which is
Yeah.
nice. It won't be a long day. But I don't know if you remember, Ingrid, from the emails, they made it sound like it was right from the morning till the evening, like way back.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got. So I was pleasantly surprised when I saw 11 or 12.
Yeah, me too. It
So
means I can squeeze some clients in too, so I have something to pay for my MFA with.
it's
exactly.
always important. Yeah.
Have to,
So would you say that Cole, that's your dog's name,
mm,
influences your creativity now, or is there an experience that you had?
I would say that, my I'm certainly influenced a lot by my animals. Like they've always influenced me in terms of my mood for sure,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. Um, they also have been a tremendous influence in terms of working with grief and my own grief, but also I work with other people's grief a lot too. And what's amazing about animals is that they're very present in ways that human beings kind of aren't sometimes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and so when I started writing what I'm working on, which is a novel, a fiction piece of fiction about grief, but it's also sort of like a piece of fiction, sort of a tragic comedy about death.
Okay.
Um, I use animals were a big inspiration to me, and in fact, it was the neighbor's cat whose name is Schrodinger. Um,
That's a big
which is a
name.
great name for cat, right? Who has now officially disappeared because he died recently. So I'm really glad I was able
Oh.
to memorialize him and comfort my neighbor with that. He's a big orange cat who used to hang out in my ditch. And one day I saw him and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if, um, you know, human beings, when they died, actually went into animals if they didn't want to die, if they had trouble with the idea of dying, and they just kind of hung on to whatever they could get into, and a human hijacked this animal and then sort of hung around trying to influence things. And that's where my idea came from, was from Schrodinger sitting in the ditch.
Sign me up for both your book, first of all, and for that idea.
It's a fun idea. Like I think we really have a hard time as humans with the concept of death.
Yeah.
And so, and animals, I'm not saying they like it, but they're certainly a lot closer to it. And we can learn a lot from the way they process death and the way nature does. And often when I talk to clients, I suggest like spending time in nature because death is normalized there. Often you feel as an
Yeah.
outsider, like an outsider when you're grieving with
Yeah.
other human beings. But in nature, death is something that's considered sort of normal. It's part of the cycle of life. So it's a way to sort of feel normal is to spend time in nature. So it's sort of the full circle for me, grief, death, fiction.
Hmm.
Wow, I love the way that you put that. Now, when you say that they are closer to death, like, do you mean that it's because it is normalized for them and that it's part of their cycle and they don't put as much, and when I say thought to it, it's not emotional, but
Right.
they don't sit there and dwell on things. Animals don't, well, that we know of. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we don't know that, but
I think, depending on the animal, you have like different animals that are like elephants, crows, stuff like that, who do memorialize and create ritual around it. I think what I mean is that they don't try to distance themselves from death
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
We
the
have
way
the
humans do.
faculty
Like
to
we
do that, right? Yeah.
sanitize it so much, right? It's like, well, the body is away. We don't even wash our loved ones anymore.
No,
They
no.
go away, right?
Yeah.
And then it's all dressed up, and even for, even to be cremated, you have to have a fancy coffin sort of thing. It's all very distanced. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really understandable to me when somebody comes to me and says when they're grieving and they feel like such an outsider and so divorced from the rest of the world, like they don't feel like they're in the same world simply because the human world hasn't created space for death. So animals have got it right. I'm not saying they love it at all. That's not what I'm saying, but
No.
they have an experience of it that's much more visceral and humane.
Mm-hmm. And accepting.
Yeah. Yeah, and they mourn. It's not like they don't mourn
Yeah.
or feel horrified by it or whatever, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
like it's processed. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we could be a lot more human if we spent more time with animals dealing with death, you know?
Exactly. And if we talked about it more in the living world, we may be able to accept where our loved ones go, whatever beliefs that you may have, a little easier.
Yeah, I think, personally, I'm an atheist, so I don't really have
Mm-hmm.
any sort of
Mm-hmm.
religious leanings that way.
Yeah.
Certainly don't want to deny anybody's right to
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But for me, the comfort is nature.
Yeah.
That cycle is there. We're all part of it. It's as important as being born, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And, often animals are a great comfort to us in that space as well.
Absolutely. And I've made this very open that I want to be a tree in the arboretum in Southern Ontario. I even picked the tree. I want to be close to nature as well because
Yeah.
I feel like I have this closeness to trees
Oh,
and
neat.
an adoration for them. And so that's how I want to be memorialized by my family.
But
But
they actually have like human tree bags now
oh,
there's actually I see you nodding, Rogan, that like there's these ways of being buried. It says sort of um environmentally uh friendly burials where you can get buried in a sort of a sack and a tree with it and be sort of the fertilizer for a tree. So
all
Yeah, I've
right.
heard
We're
of these.
noting that one.
We are noting that
Rogan's
down.
like,
Yeah.
Mom, I do not want to talk about this stuff. All right. So let's get back to the
No, it's all
animals.
good. I don't have much to add to that, but it is something I'm going to take with me for sure. I spend a lot of time, as much as I can, in nature just to have that grounding effect. Never really thought about it from the perspective of death and that cycle. But you're right. It really is normalized there and
Oh yeah,
is
absolutely.
necessary and important as well in some ways. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to take that with me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But even quite some time ago, I would say, even having this type of conversation would have been uncomfortable for me.
Mm.
You're normalizing it for us. And I'm sitting here with my son in front of you don't know him, he doesn't know you, but we're having a conversation. And I think that that's pretty important.
Oh yeah. I appreciate your openness to it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I
I
I
think it's
don't
important.
yeah, me too. I don't really see
Mhm.
how you can avoid it. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
people obviously do, right? But I mean, it's in my face every day. So
Yeah. No
that's why
kidding.
people call me a lot of the time. You know,
Do you bring your dog to the office?
my dog has at times participated in therapeutic meetings, but I
Mhm.
work only online now. So
Oh,
he will come in occasionally to just check on me, but he's pretty independent. He does his thing in the daytime. He walks around the house and he visits me occasionally.
well, maybe the odd appearance on your screen.
If I have a client for a long time and they
Right.
really like animals and they see him, like, for example, passing by or something,
Yeah.
I'll show him
Y-
to them
Yeah.
if they want,
Yeah.
you know?
So if we can go back to your novel idea,
Yeah.
we won't ask too many questions because it's no
Spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want spoilers, but what gave you the idea? I mean, I know you appreciated your cat next
Yeah.
door
Yeah. Yeah.
but how did those two come together?
Well, I'm constantly dealing with death and people dealing with death, right? And also with, the idea of how does one die? Because obviously I'm getting older, right? I've got any sort of terrible illness or anything, but there's how do you deal with it when somebody dies, but there's also how do you die, right?
Right.
And I guess I was sort of this sort of connection between animals and death and how they die versus the way humans die, which is varied. But some people, I would say, and I who can blame them, they don't want to let go, and it's
Mhm.
very hard and it's very scary.
Mhm.
And so the connection was, what happens if you die and you don't want to let go? And then I sort of I like the idea of reincarnation, even though I honestly don't believe in it. I do like the idea of reincarnation in terms of I don't know if you've ever sort of encountered the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but there's a whole preparation for death in the
Yeah.
Tibetan Book of the Dead. Like you actually are very conscious going into depth. You're not taking the morphine cocktail, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that because who wants to suffer?
Mhm.
But there's a value in being very present to your death. But there's a way you can be distracted from it or not be ready for it, and then you end up reincarnating. So you don't truly die. Your
Right.
reincarnation is a process of learning to die, to dissolve into the everything. I'm no Tibetan Buddhist, so please excuse me from my errors.
It was the first book I read for a book club that I had created years ago. Imagine that's the book that they
Oh,
chose, but
really?
Oh, that's really
we're
cool.
defunct now. But
No,
anyways, go on. I'm
that's
sorry.
amazing. So you know more than I do probably, but I thought, well, what would happen, right, if this guy in his 50s who was really like in control of everything and he was a bit bossy and very self-centered, had a heart attack in his driveway and he wasn't ready to die. His consciousness, not his body, not his spirit, but his consciousness latches on to this cat that's passing, and he hangs on trying to control his widow and control his daughter and influence things and get his body back. So that it sort of happened all at the same time as thinking about death. I had clients, I had people who were dying, and this cat, and my obviously my own control, because I can be very controlling, my own ego stuff, right?
Right.
Thought about all that, and it just sort of came together, and I thought this would be funny, right? So
Mhm.
because I do think we have to laugh, part of dealing with death is laughing. And so I thought, what can I do that would make death something more that's relatable, but in a sort of a magic realism context, in a fabulist context? How can I talk about dying in a way that people find entertaining
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
moving and funny and opening, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I thought, well, sort of an Aesop fable crossed with Tibetan Book of the Dead
Wow.
situation where you have this happening. And by the way, the novel's called George the Cat. George isn't the only guy this happens to during the course of the novel. He meets some other humans that have decided to hang on. So he
Okay.
kind of learns through the course of the novel, he learns to die.
Mhm.
Ooh.
What an incredible premise. I'm so on board.
Yeah, please consider me as a beta reader right now.
Oh,
I'm going to be
that would
crying the
be
whole way
wonderful.
through.
I'm feeling, I know, I love the idea. I just hope I can match the hype with actual quality.
Well, it
You
sounds
got
like you
this,
have such
Ingrid.
a great perspective and like approach to it, just given what you work with every day in your profession and stuff. So, and even just from this conversation already, I feel like I've gotten like insights. So,
Oh, neat. Well,
yeah.
thank you for the encouragement. I mean, we all know that writing fiction is a whole other sort of thing. So the quality of the writing makes a difference. I know my delivery is pretty good in person, but we'll see how it works on the page.
I know. I'm with you there. It's not easy, but like Rogan said, you're already coming from a perspective with knowledge. And so, I'm sure it's the fun part will be in, okay, now how do I morph the human with the cat? Will it be anthropomorphized? I'm sorry, that took me a
Well,
while to get
no,
that word
that's
out there.
that's a hard word to say too. I
It
have a
is.
hard time.
It is. I've
And
been
it's a
practicing.
question I ask myself, like, is this anthropomorphization?
I'm not even going to
Very
try.
good.
I'm going to leave that. Yep.
That's so many syllables. But it's really the cat's body has been hijacked.
Right.
Now, when I think about it, I think is this a metaphor for how we've hijacked nature or whatever as human beings? We've sort of taken the death away, But he does have cat-like. His personality is already a bit cat-like. He's very sort of do things when he wants to do things. Doesn't really, he's kind of in charge and he's territorial and stuff. So there's already some similarities between George and the cat he hijacks. I wouldn't say I dip into that because the only there are animals that are not possessed by human consciousness in the novel, and they are not anthropomorphized at all.
Okay.
It's just the ones that are possessed by humans that are hijacked, And the humans learn to be like George encounters a lot more death during his course of life as a cat, to the point where he becomes educated in death by the end of the novel.
Maybe my question should have been, does the cat become humanized? I'm always asking that, like, in kind of, making fun, because in my own work, I came across that where it's like, well, what happens when animals, I was trying to look through the lens of an animal, what do they see humans as, right? Like, would they prefer them to be more like them? I know I'm getting out there with my
That's a
thinking.
good question. I mean, it's a good question, and I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I guess the question it raises in terms of what I'm working on, and this is where does the consciousness of the cat go when the
I was
human
wondering that.
hijacks, And what I do have is there are moments when George has to resist certain impulses. Like, he has a friend who's a teenage girl who was killed by a snowplow, who's now a squirrel, and he attacks her at one point because he just can't help himself. So that there are moments when his animality is present and he has to sort of struggle with that. But because the novel's told from a POV, like there's 3 POVs and one of them is his, you don't really get I've kind of avoided the question of where does the consciousness of the animal go with these little sort of moments, right? That he experiences within his POV.
And that was where I was going next. Like, so you answered it. 3 point of views.
Yeah.
In the story.
There's him. There's his widow, Anna, who's actually just pissed off at George because she finds out he has an affair, and she was pissed off at him for years anyway. So her reaction to his death is very mixed, and very human in its messiness,
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's Glenn, who's the postal worker who's kind of in love with Anna and pursues her unsuccessfully. His point of view as well, and who George attacks a few times.
So how will you weave in? I mean, there are moments already where people can't see me, but I've got like a smile on my face, that little bit of a chuckle when you say he attacks the squirrel, and I laugh, but then it's not really funny. But
No.
Just in the grand scheme of it, it's like, because we're envisioning these as humans and animals, but
Yeah.
where do you thread in the comedy part, or how do you see that coming into play?
Okay. So,
If at all, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I think my version of comedy is is the truth version of it. You know, we laugh at things because they're true.
Right.
When a character does, like when a cat, even if it's a cat inhabited by human consciousness, does something, it's sort of like hilarious because it's true. But it's also hilarious because we're in on the joke as the readers. We know it's George. It's not the stray cat that she let into her house, you
Right.
know? So there's moments when um, George, the cat, formerly the human, does things that, you know, he's doing them because he's human and he wants to control things. But from an outside perspective, it's what a cat would do. And it's kind of funny that it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Or people just being contradictory. I laugh at things because they're true a lot of the time, not necessarily because they're overtly funny.
Good point. And we're allowing ourselves to open up to the idea of George becoming or hijacking the cat's body.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
if you're willing to buy that, you know, sort of you're willing to go along for the ride. There's some comedic parts where it's like he breaks into the hospital with Mindy the squirrel to see his body and try to get back into his body. And he witnesses this really stupid seduction scene between the janitor and this grieving woman.
yeah.
There's times when you know, he basically, the man who's courting his wife, you know, he jumps up on his lap while they're about to kiss, and then the guy goes to remove him, and he just digs in. You know, there's moment like, and you feel sorry for the guy because Glenn's the one. He's kind of like he's like a nice incel. Like I have. I do meet these people during the course of my work, right?
Right.
So I thought,
Right.
why not make an incel who's nice?
There
You
you
know, who's
go.
actually really sweet and
Yeah.
just naive, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
without being a jerk about it.
I've never heard someone describe that way, and that is incredible. I know I feel like I have a good picture in my head of what you mean. The
Right?
nice incel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a journalist.
Yeah.
And then I guess, like you
Well,
said, it just kind of
yeah, it
took
devolved.
away your,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I got out of I did my creative writing BA and I got offered, like, I was offered this first MA in writing plays because I was doing pretty well doing that. And I decided not to do that. I decided to go into journalism because I thought I could make some money at that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of true, but don't be a journalist if you want to be rich, you know? So,
Or an author.
or yeah. So I did that for a while and it was okay, but I could only get contract work. Like newspapers were dying. And so I ended up going from working in a major daily to working in a community newspaper to working in the trades. I actually wrote a book about trucks, which I never knew anything about before. Um, and then, I mean, my final sort of the nail in the coffin was really where I got into being a lobbyist. And it was so antithetical. I just crashed and burned. And there was a death that was really close to me. My son died. And I just kind of went, I had already done a psychotherapy degree way back. And I thought, okay, I can't find anybody who can help me.
Right.
I'm going to get my shit together. And then I'm going to specialize in grief counseling and learn how to help other people because I'm really not getting what I need.
Right.
I did eventually get what I needed and do some more training. And then I went into grief counseling. And now I've been a therapist for about, 25, 30 years now. And I've, done all the training. I do couples, I do all sorts of things, but it's still the sort of core thing. So the journey was there. The pieces are like writing, grief, therapy, human nature. It sort of all kind of came together. And now I can self-employed, so I can actually make enough money to pay for an MFA.
I feel that pain.
Well,
And
I don't
may
know
I
if you
just,
remember when it was a lot cheaper to go to school, right?
like, we're
Was
paying for those residencies.
Yeah, exactly. Now that you're kind of coming back to this, like, or starting on this creative writing journey with your
Yeah.
novel and anything else that you're working on. Was that kind of like a purposeful, I'm going to grab this back, this thing that was kind of burned out for me in journalism and kind of reclaim that and rediscover it? Or did it kind of just happen
It
without
sort
you
of
noticing?
came back. It was during actually COVID that I was living in Toronto and very stressed out living in Toronto during COVID.
Same.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Extremely stressful. And I thought, I'm working online as a therapist now because of COVID. And my partner, he was living in Toronto with me. Um, he couldn't, they were always bugging him to come back to Quebec because they had offices here. I said, well, you know what? Like, why not just move back? I can see my clients long distance.
Mhm.
And then I live in this little village, sweet little village. There's not much to do around here, like unless you like going to the bar, the bars, and listening to somebody sing Margaritaville again and again,
A different rendition over and over and over.
over and over. So I got bored, and then
Mhm.
once I got bored, my voice came back.
Mm,
And I started writing, and I wrote a couple of short stories. I got one published that got me excited.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and then it was like the dream. And like it was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on my own terms.
So how long have you been working on this project?
It's been a year and a half now.
Okay. So it's still fresh
Yeah,
in the writer world.
yeah. I'm like on my fourth version of it, my fourth
Wow.
draft. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So
It's a lot of work, but awesome that you've made it so far
Yeah.
into the process. I mean, just because I'm coming from a place of like, I never even finished the first draft of whatever I'm working on. So, congrats, but also hang in there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that that's something that I get bored pretty easily, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at tolerating boredom. You know,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
Uh,
if that's been your experience, Holly.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Rogan can confirm I'm
Attest.
a busybody. Yes. But I have more patience to see
Yeah.
something through. And in
Yeah.
fact, I was speaking with someone yesterday and I said, my hope is that I will solidify some of these. I don't want to call them hobbies, but the things that I do. I really want to be selective in what I do and do them well now. Instead
They're
of having
passions. That's what they are.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But before I forget, I wanted to come back to a point that you said, uh, when you were grieving, there wasn't anyone there to kind of move you through that because
Mm.
it is a process. And I want to say you are very much needed because when I lost my father, which is almost 11 years ago now, feels like yesterday,
Yeah.
I had never lost anyone. So I didn't know
Yeah.
what that was
Oh,
like.
it's so
My
new.
parents
It's
never
such.
talked to me about it.
Yeah.
I was crushed. My
Yeah.
my world
Yeah.
stopped. And I mean, I have great boys, I have a great husband, a
Yeah.
very little family, but I sought out a grief counselor. And I will never forget that individual for what he was able to move me through.
Um.
The work that you do, and so you are very much respected, appreciated, and needed in this world because I wasn't sure how to keep going. I was
Yeah.
daddy's little girl, and
Yeah.
anyways, I just wanted to say that you are very much needed.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you for saying that, Holly. And it's such a
that's
people. I
true.
don't think people realize that what happens when somebody close to you dies
Hmm.
is that your whole identity comes into question. Who am I? It's like your whole
Yeah,
position in the world changes. You
yeah.
know?
I gave away everything I had
Wow.
in as far as stuff
Yeah.
and possessions. Like
Yeah.
the boys probably
Mhm.
thought I was, going somewhere, but I literally stuff had no meaning for me anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
I love my stuff now, but it's not close
It's
to
not
what I
that
was
it's
like
not. It
before.
changes you. It
So
really
you're
changes.
right. That is
Yeah. Yeah.
a life changer. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
But it
well,
also gives you special powers, which is to accompany somebody else. If you get through, and you never really get over it, like you never
no,
get over it, and that
no,
people don't realize, like you grieve for the rest of your life,
yeah,
right? It gets easier.
yes,
Mhm.
You get better at it. It
yes,
becomes more of a like a familiar face,
yes,
Mhm.
right? But people go, well, why are you so upset? It's, well, because he's still dead.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
die and that was over. He's still dead.
Right.
I
Yeah.
still miss him.
Yep.
It still means something to me that he's gone. There's a person-sized hole in my heart,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That doesn't, your heart gets bigger. The hole doesn't get smaller. Your heart just gets bigger.
Oh, wow.
I think that's what happens.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your heart gets bigger.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of like Grinch, in the Grinch
Yeah.
cartoon,
Yeah. Yeah.
it grows. If you can get through it, your heart grows.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's less tears, but there's not a day I don't think of my father. And this isn't the last time I'm going to go through this, but that was a big one. I'm sure you go through it every day as well.
Yeah,
But
I mean, fortunately, I was in bad shape for a while, but
right.
I'm in much better shape now, and I have a purpose that I didn't have before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to read your novel.
Oh my God.
But
I hope,
you must put me on the list for the beta readers, please.
oh, I will, gladly, because
Okay.
honestly, I may never get more than just beta readers. It's so hard to get published, from my
Mm-hmm.
my impression, that
Well,
I'll be happy with, the more people who say that to me, the happier I am.
which brings me to another question. Are you thinking traditional or self-publishing?
I want to go for the traditional,
Okay.
but I'm going to put a time limit on it.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait
Yeah.
forever, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll give it a year and a half, 2 years, and then cut it loose. Put it self-published if I have
Yeah.
to.
No, I think that's a great way to approach it. I decided to just go self-publishing from the hop because I just figured, nope, I'm not waiting around for anybody to choose me. I choose me. So let's keep going. But I also respect the traditional publishing
Yeah.
avenue as well. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I
So,
think do you mind if I ask you, Holly, what your genre is?
fiction, contemporary fiction.
Okay,
But
so
it's anthropomorph.
Here we go
Oh,
again.
darn. Am I going to have to cut this out, I guess?
No, leave it in.
There is nope, I had it. It's anthropomorphized.
You did
I don't
it.
even know if that's the right version of it.
I think
The
maybe
dog has a POV.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Holly, what's the genre again? No, it's fine.
Ha ha ha.
So it's fabulous. That's the other way to say it. Yeah, because do you know, I was calling my stuff magic realism until I met somebody who said that's really kind of reserved for people who live in countries with a lot of political oppression. The new term is fabulist. If there's animals, it's like Aesop's fable. It's fabulism.
Well,
I haven't heard that term yet. Huh.
I'm jotting this down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Fabulism.
easier to say, too.
It is. Yes,
It's
I
also
like
close
that.
to the word fabulous.
Well, that's what I thought
we
you
do
were
love that.
saying at first. I thought, well, thank
My
you for
genre
saying I'm
is fabulous.
Fabulous.
Well, my dog has a point of view in the story, as well as the human. So there is true anthropomorphization.
Cool. So the
True
dog,
fabulousness.
what is the dog, the villain or the hero, or a side sort of a side piece?
They both have an arc.
Okay.
Yeah, the villain is the woman's own self-sabotage. So there's two protagonists, but he speaks, not to human.
So the dog is a protagonist as well.
Yes.
And is the dog the associate of the woman?
Well, he will become her companion.
Ah,
Yeah. Spoiler.
yay! My dog is definitely my companion.
Yeah.
And he doesn't indulge me at all. He's not he's a Scottish Terrier, so they're not lap dogs.
Oh, they're very independent.
Yeah, but he has his cuddle times, and then I must satisfy his needs.
Well, my other son has a Shiba Inu, and I've never met an independent dog like that one. She does not want to be around humans whatsoever.
Really?
She is adorable. She's the sweetest little thing, and she's such a great dog. Very independent.
Yeah.
It's like they turn around and say, not today.
I kind of respect that,
Yeah, but I mean, I want the dog cuddles. I
Yeah.
want those all day long.
You got to earn the cuddles. That's
You
all.
gotta, yeah.
You're-
I don't even know if
yeah.
my brother, who has a dog, has earned the cuddles yet. I feel like this dog that we're talking about has yet to actually look me in the eyes and acknowledge me as a person. To be fair, I haven't seen her that often, but yeah, very
Yeah.
independent.
Okay.
Very.
Good for her.
Well, Ingrid, is there anything else that you would love? Well, it is called North of Broken and Furever Home. F-U-R.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
I'm very excited, but I am self-publishing and I'm just going for
Okay.
it.
And what do you know what your length is going to be, or do you have an idea? Have you got like
It's
X
done.
amount of words done?
It's being released February 14th.
Where are you publishing?
It's on Amazon for pre-order at this point, and then it will be everywhere you can buy books.
Okay, I
and
need to write it down. So what's the name of it?
North of Broken
I love that.
and Fur, F-U-R, Ever Home.
I like that.
You can see now our connection with this podcast.
Yeah. I was going to say, when you were describing your novel idea, I was like, this is the most Holly idea ever, in terms of like, she would love this. So, I mean, I love it too, but
yeah.
I mean, Ingrid and I, we sat together a couple times, like side by side in some of the presentations, but there is not enough time to spend with everyone, because sometimes you just want to take a minute to go and like rest, relax, whatever it is, or have your lunch for 5 minutes. And so I didn't even know what your project idea was, and now you're not going to be able to get rid of me in June.
Well,
Because
let's do
Prepare.
dinner. I'd love that. That would be nice.
The conversations we're going to have.
I think we're going to have good conversations.
Yeah. Well, we
It's
did.
too bad
We did today already.
Yeah, I was gonna say, too bad to hear that about the school, though, because honestly, for me, one of the most valuable things about school is meeting people who are like-minded and doing something that you're trying to do as well. I mean, obviously, education as well, but for me, like, what I got the most out of my degree was the people that I met and the connections I made. So they should fit more time in for that. Anyways,
it's I think sort of as you. I have a theory about that. I think when you're younger, you tend to be more open to that experience, and as you get older, you become a little bit more like work, sort of like, and you sort of lose that playfulness. But I'm game. I'm absolutely up for a night out with you, Holly.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'll consider it done. And I think we're going to stay a lot closer to the university this time.
Oh,
so because we stayed out, oh gosh, it was an hour drive in the morning and an hour drive out. So this time I'm going to plan it. Well, this conversation was meant to be in so many more ways than one, because I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for George the cat.
hung up on Schrodinger. That's an amazing. He's in the ditch and not in the ditch.
Yeah, in the ditch or not. Yeah, those are my literary friends. They're very funny.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So this is a great idea, Holly. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do this with you, and I'm looking forward to the release of your.
Oh, thank you. But you promise to come back when your book is ready and we can talk about it further, and then we can really jump into.
Yes, I'm going to finish this goddamn book.
You finish this goddamn book, and you come back, and
you in your first or your second year of yeah, me too. So you're gonna what are you gonna do? 2 books?
Maybe, yes.
Oh, sneaky.
All of my books will have dogs in them. That is definitely who I am now. Talk about a voice. Like, that's just how it's coming to me. And I do have like a manuscript for my project for the MFA.
Oh,
I swapped it out.
So this one's coming out.
Yes.
And now you're working on the other one. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I'm so excited. I'm beyond excited for George. So, well, thank you for spending your Monday evening with us.
I am very happy to be here. I have the week off, and I'm going to go have a glass of wine and hang out with my partner.
Awesome.
Lovely.
All right.
It's so nice to meet both of you. And Holly, your lovely son, Rogan, it was nice to meet you too.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap this up, this episode. And thanks again. And we'll chat with you soon.
Take care.
Hi, Rogan.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay. It was a little bit of a tough day. It was the first day back to work after the holidays, and my head was not in it. But
You got
it's all
through it?
good. I got through it. Drank
All
a lot
right.
of coffee.
Well, what are you drinking now?
I'm
More
drinking hot
importantly.
chocolate because I had too much coffee today.
Oh, you forgot the hot chocolate here at home.
I did.
With
I
your
went home.
instant pouches.
I bought instant coffee and I bought hot chocolate, and I forgot them. I didn't drink either the entire week that I was there. It was Christmas, so I assumed I was going to want some hot chocolate, but alas, I did not have any, and I forgot them both there. So enjoy the hot chocolate.
Guess I have to come and see you now.
Yeah. Darn.
Did you notice something special about our flannels today, Rogan?
Yes. Sorry, it took me a second to see your flannel because the window was cutting it off. They're matching. That was not planned, folks, ladies and gentlemen. That was not planned.
Do you think that we should plan it from now on? Because we're looking pretty.
I
fun.
don't know if we have enough matching flannels.
Well, maybe it's a reason to shop. I don't know.
I just bought 2 new flannels, so I'm good. Last time I complained that I hadn't gotten new flannels, and now I'm like, okay, I'm good for like a year or 2.
And I guess that would be kind of weird. I mean, it's not like, buying.
I'm just picturing someone joins the call, and we're just there smiling, wearing the same flannel, like, hi,
Same cup, same
cup, yeah, same hair soon.
Whoa. I'm just drinking. Whoa. I'm just drinking boring old water out of a mason jar. Nothing
That's
too
not
exciting
allowed.
tonight.
That's really boring.
So,
I was thinking of just having water, but then I shook my head and I was like, no. I got to do something.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't live up to the podcast's expectations.
You didn't, and I hope you've learned your lesson.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'll do better. Much better. Going into this podcast episode this evening, it was kind of like a surprise to me, and I wasn't really sure what we were going to talk about, but isn't it funny the way things just work themselves out, and how I got to know someone that I only had just met a few times at the residency, and now I feel like we're old chums, and even our writing style or genre, I should say, is similar. So I'm really excited to speak to her further. It's fabulism.
Yeah. It's fabulous. Fabulism. No. Trying to make it work, it didn't work.
Fabulous.
No, if you would have, just going off that conversation, I was like part of the way through assuming that you already knew about the story and that's how you met. But no, just worked out that way, like you said.
This is pretty incredible. Yeah. So what's up for this week? Big plans? Just trying to get back into life?
Get back into life.
Yeah. Well, some of us worked the whole way through and weren't off at all, so we're just back into the routine.
Yeah,
that being me.
Yeah, I went on a trip earlier this month, and so I didn't take this week off because I needed to catch up on some work. So,
yep, time to get back into routine. We'll get there. All right.
I hope so.
Well, that's all for now. I got to go back outside in the -20 and shovel some more snow
You're
before.
Going from 28 degrees to -20 degrees.
I know. Yeah. I should just go. Oh, that's a great idea. I don't have a sauna or sauna, as some people would say, or an ice bath, but I could crank up the fireplace in here and then jump out in the snow because there's enough of it out there.
Why though?
I don't know. It was a night. I think it's because I'm so hot in here right now in this.
I think we spoke about it after you stopped recording, but you just stoked the fire before starting, right? And that backfired a little bit. Backfired.
It backfired because it is officially...
Check the number.
27 degrees.
Oh, God. I remember being in there when it was 25 and I was dying.
And it's very well insulated and it's hot. So I think I'm going to open the door and jump in the snow and make a snow angel.
Do it.
Yeah.
Report back.
I will. All right, folks. Have a wonderful week. Rogan, you have an excellent week. I miss you already. You've only been gone not even 24 hours. And the house feels empty. Mm-hmm. So come back soon. We miss you.
We miss you too. We being me, myself, and I. And this episode's probably going to come out a couple weeks from now. But
Yeah.
Happy New Year!
Happy
We're
New
recording this
Year.
the last one before the new year, I believe. So
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Incredible. Okay.
hope everyone's, by the time this has come out, I hope everyone's 2026 is going better than I know mine's going to be going for the first chunk of January. I hope it's going well.
All right. That's all for now, and we will chat with you soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.